Hi, this is Jim. It's Monday, June 18th, and we're going to take a look at a few markets here. Now, here's the USD JPY pair, and this could be making a head and shoulders bottom here. A move back above this little consolidation area would be bullish. You can see it went up above the bands, the 10-10 bands, and it came down, and this could be a test of the lower band. Now, there's no reason this can't trade lower here too, and then I would look at this area here at the last pivot low as support. But right now, I would be looking at this more like a head and shoulders, and then if it doesn't play out like a head and shoulders, then we'll look for a double bottom here. Okay, now another market we're in is, well, we're not in this one. We're not in this one in the premium newsletter, but this is one we're in. Um, but I would be looking to get in the USD/JPY if it looks like it breaks away from a head and shoulders or something. And if it heads lower, we'll probably just skip that one for now. Now we're in the AUD/CAD. We got in again. This was a head and shoulders bottom here. We got in right at this pivot high, so we're in at a good spot. And this one's just taken off to the upside, so that's a good trade in our premium newsletter. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I'd really get signed up for those premium newsletters because they're only $99 a year, and I have some different ways to enter the trades and place stops and things that are. It's an important part of the trade. So a lot of times you might see on my video, like I might say, like on the last trade, the USD JPY, I might say it looks like it's making a bottom, but that's not good enough to know. You really got to get the specific entry point and stop, because that entry point can keep you out of a lot of bad trades if it's not hit when the time comes for. Even if it's like sometimes it'll just be within pennies of that entry point. It won't hit it, and they'll save you from a bad trade. So, and then it's very important to know where to put the stop. Those are both very important parts of the trade. It's not just enough to know where the setup is, or if it looks like it's a buy or sell or whatever. So sorry, I hate to keep trying to push that, but I really think that you will benefit from those newsletters if you sign up. They've been doing really well. Um, Starbucks is one we've been looking at lately. I think this is a double bottom here. Now again, this bar today is could be set putting in a buy setup, and then I could have an entry point tomorrow. Again, it just all depends on how this goes the rest of the day, and then it's important to know where to put the stop. So Starbucks is a buying candidate for tonight's premium newsletter. Um, Everything looks good. It's made a bullish divergence on the stochastics. It's heading higher. So Starbucks is one we're looking at. Now here's what I'm starting to do in the premium stock newsletter is to get a little more action in the newsletter, because I don't like being along a lot of stocks. If the market's going up and you're long one or two stocks, that's plenty. Unless we could get to break even on them, then we would probably maybe add some more or whatever. But I don't want to like just load up on stocks when it looks like the market's going up, because then if it doesn't follow through, then you have a bunch that are losers. It's great if it works and the market keeps going higher and they all turn into winners. But so what I'm doing in the newsletter, so we don't have so many stocks all the time, is I'm starting to add ETFs for like commodities, because these will trade kind of opposite the stock market sometimes. So you could trade like corn. The stock market could be going down, and we could buy the corn ETF. That's what this is right here, CORN. And I think this is at a double bottom, and this is one I'm probably going to put out a buy signal again if it sets up the entry signal, and if the entry point gets hit, and then I'll have the stop. And I could buy right at this double bottom, just saying it's a double bottom, but I like the market to head a little higher and move up here in this area somewhere, so it looks like the market has actually turned. And then I'll put then I'll put it in the buy signal. So this really hasn't. We could buy it here just at the market, and it could be an aggressive buy type deal, anticipating a double bottom, but that's not the way I usually do it in my newsletter. Again, I found that it's better off to wait for the market to trade a little higher, pay a little more for it, but then it more confirms that the double bottom is in. So I'm starting to trade these ETFs. Now corn is one we're trading. UNG is a natural gas ETF. USO is the crude oil ETF. and I'm actually going to start even trading JO, which is coffee, and BAL, which is cotton, and a lot of the different ETFs. I think this is really going to help spice up the premium stock newsletter. And again, if you're not interested in those markets, that's fine. But for some people, a lot of people probably will be interested in trading those, because that will be kind of like trading commodities, but it won't be as much risk, because when you trade an ETF, you can buy as many shares as you want, so you can have your risk at whatever you want. And then the big ETFs we're going to be trading is SLV, which is silver, and GLD, which is gold. Those will probably be the most popular ETF trades. I'm long both those right now in the premium stock newsletter, GLD and SLV. Okay, so now speaking of corn, we'll just go right to the corn chart. Last week I mentioned that I lived in Iowa and we haven't got much rain. We did get some rain over the weekend. And I usually don't look at the fundamentals too much, but on these grains, it's just that time of year when you kind of got to look at what's going on. And basically, they're saying if corn doesn't get some rain here in the next week or so, that it's going to really start hurting the corn crop. We did get rain this weekend, but that's where on these markets sometimes you got to read between the lines, because you would think rain would be bullish for the market since we're needing rain, but the problem is we didn't get much rain. So then that turns it into where it was good that we got rain, but it wasn't enough. So that's where corn's up like 19 cents, 18 cents right now, and I think that's probably first of all, I think corn's just bottoming anyway, but then I think the news part of it is that we got rain but didn't get enough rain, and there's really not much rain in sight this week. Today it's supposed to be like 90 something out, so that ground's going to be getting pretty dry. It already is dry. I've had neighbors tell me. One neighbor said that they put out a for sale sign in it because they're moving to Alabama, and they could barely get it in the ground. The ground was so hard. So it's just that time of year when you got to start watching the weather with the grains, and it looks like it's shaping up to be a dry year, at least here from what I've seen. I don't follow the fundamentals too much, but corn's having a bullish day. We are long corn in the premium commodity newsletter. Again, it's important to have the right entry point and stop, because corn we got long up here. We did have a little move against us, but that's not unexpected when you get in these markets. Sometimes it will do that, and that's where it comes in. You got to have the right stop, and you got to have confidence that your stop is in the right place and everything to hold when it moves against you. And even though corn we got in long up here and it started moving against us, I was still very confident of this trade. Now, this morning, corn's up like, um, 19 cents, 18 cents, kind of moving between there. Okay, we'll look at one more real quick, or a couple more. Okay, wheat's another market I've been looking at to get in the premium newsletter, but I've just been holding back until, again, it puts in the right buy signal. Now, today's a big up day in wheat, 18 cents up. It looks like it's made the move up here, and then like a double bottom, correction low. And now if wheat gives me a buy signal, I'll be going long in the premium newsletter. Today won't do it. Today's action won't do it. It's got to move above the bands. Now, really, the bands is not the buy signal, but that generally is the area that it happens in. So if this moves above the bands, that will probably trigger my buy signal. Now, and then the signal is not the entry point. Again, I hate to keep sounding like a broken record, but I'm just trying to get that point across, because it really is a very important part when you're following. You got to follow your rules, and you'll find out that you'll have your rules, and there'll be times when you'll just say, I know wheat's at the bottom, so I'm just buying. I'm not going to follow my entry signal. And you know what usually happens is that's the time wheat will go against you. So it's really important to follow these the rules. And that's what I'm trying to do with these newsletters. I have some rules in place, and even though I think wheat's at a bottom, and I'm like almost positive wheat's at a bottom, I'm going to wait till the entry points hit. Now, sugar, here's a very interesting market here too. Um, this looks like a very clear head and shoulders bottom here. So I'm going to basically be buying sugar if again, if depends what the action is like the rest of the day, and then I'll have an entry point, and again, that entry point is very important. And it looks like I'm going to be going long sugar, or attempting to go long sugar in the premium newsletter tomorrow. So that's another good trade. So I'll wrap this one up, but that's the big markets I see for today. So thanks for listening to my video. Jim.